Good evening and welcome to Coffee Talk. This is Coffee Talk Live number 306, 7 p.m. Wednesday, um, August the 28th, 2024. And you are live with David Lynn. Please leave a like to support the channel, will be greatly appreciated. Well, the last 2 weeks have been exciting. Actually, the last 3 weeks have been exciting. This is the third week of school, and I have to have a progress report on each of my students at the end of the week. They'll release it tomorrow so I can start uploading and trying to get all my little paperwork in order. Yoda, my friend Dave, how are you doing? Have you hit 1800 yet? I'm sure you're running away from me in a hurry. Like a man on a mission. You're on the hunt for 2000. Julianne West, how you doing? It's been a while. How are things over in your neck of the woods? I've heard there's a lot of stuff going on over there. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Holly Ivans. Hello, Holly. Haven't seen you in a few days. Well, I haven't been here in a few days. I have been out of pocket. And I miss it when I'm out of pocket. Well, I'm glad everything's fine in Wales. Yeah, and 4,000 watch hours. I had 4,000 watch hours 7 or 8 months ago, and I still haven't gotten monetized. The Black Widow. How are you doing? Did you ever get yourself situated with YouTube so you could get monetized, Widow? I know you were looking at deleting stuff and changing stuff and sprinkling some herbs and, voodoo or whatever it is to get YouTube to give you a little love. See your last post. I will have to do that. Right now, where are we at? 4 in the house, 3 likes. Good Lord. I'll have to start running your stuff again on my iPad. Try to get you those hours in. Make a note to self. Run Black Widow. I have a note. Run the Black Widow. Oh, God, my daughter has that. You might have got it from the grandchild if the grandchild went to daycare or anything like that. Or if you've been around the school teacher, might have got it if, in transition or whatever. Not good. I will be praying for you. My daughter has COVID, feels like crap, got the current symptoms, where you are nauseous and then you get diarrhea and then you got the sniffles. Well, I'm glad of that. Nobody wants to see either one of them. God bless you both. 8 in the house, 3 likes. Please give me some love. I need those likes. So, there are some things that we're going to talk about this evening. Retirement days. Hello, how you doing? Well, I've ordered a few things that have been coming in. I ordered some more of my ramen, my bowls, and my chow mein. I ordered a case of each. And I get the stuff for about the same price I would pay if I was getting it over at Aldi or Walmart. So I get it delivered. And I mean, I get stuff that weighs a little delivered. Oh, Judas Priest. So, my wife drug this in today. A case. Chef Boyardee. A 12-pack. Best by July 23rd, 2026. Beef ravioli. 12-pack. I paid $1 a piece. This was $12 delivered. Save me from having to go in and drag it out. 12-pack. And I order stuff that I like. So I guarantee you I will be eating that. Mr. Whistle, how you doing, Mr. Whistle? And Die Bullfrog 79, Uncle Al. Thank you for like number 6. I watched your latest video, Uncle Al, left you a comment. Well, I left you a like, and I told you what like number it was, and then I hit the stamp because I watched the whole thing. And thank you for the mention. I appreciate the mention at the end. And I support Wayne, the ungrateful peasant, and some of the other folks that you are very good at shouting out. Those are all friends, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, and I'm sorry that you're having problems with the garden. So I'm going to go with Monday's topic, Uncle Al, because I did not do a Monday or a Tuesday because of circumstances. So we're going to go with the topic that we had figured out for Monday, which is basically a valid ID. We'll talk about IDs and what does a valid ID consist of. I tell you what, I'm really concerned about some things. What's going on right now over in the war in Europe? Ukraine has been getting a lot of weapons from the West, and they're using them to great effect. They are really putting a hurt. They're really putting a hurt on Russia right now. And Russia is threatening the use of nukes. Russia's threatening the use of nukes. And Russia's threatening the use of nukes on the West, which that would be SHTF, Teowaki, and a few other things. If that was to actually happen. We basically threatened Russia that if they used nukes in Ukraine, we would intervene, and that we would basically bomb them conventionally. But then the Russians, the only thing that they could do would be to retaliate with nukes. Conventionally, they can't fight us. They could not fight the United States. They certainly could not fight us and our allies. They could not. All they can do is cause some mass destruction. They could hit some. They could, and you talk about global warming, or you talk about nuclear winter, or you talk about climate change. There you have climate change if that actually happens. Um, you wonder what would the administration be willing to do to try to keep themselves in power. What would the current administration do? Like, wag the dog, get a good war going, and hopefully it would be able to keep them keep them from you know getting voted out or losing power or whatever. Maybe they would suspend the election in a type situation. Um, so looking at preps and various things, I just showed you some Chef Boyardee, a 12 pack. Those are 15-ounce cans. Paid $1 a piece for them. Had them delivered prime. So ready wise, ready wise, ready wise. See what that says? PREP. PREP, prep. Muy importante, prep. 16 servings. Up to 25-year shelf life. This stuff was packaged in 12 of 23. 12 of 23. 25-year shelf life. The weight of it is 1 pound, just about right at 2 pounds. Right at 2 pounds. 1 pound, 15.85 ounces. Made in the USA, 16 servings. So basically what you're dealing with is you've got 4 packets. You would, let me open something. So you pull out a packet. This one is cheesy lasagna. There are 4 packets. And basically there are 4 servings per container. 4 servings. Now, honestly, I'd say 2 servings. It says a serving is 230 calories. Now, if I'm eating a couple of meals a day, I'm going to eat half of this, and whoever's with me would eat half of this. Now, if I'm preparing multiple things, yes, this would be 4 servings, because we would be looking at other items as well. But as it is, I would say that this is 2 servings. 230 calories per serving. Remove the oxygen absorber prior to preparation. Cooking directions. Boil. Bring 4 cups of water to boil. 4 cups of water would be the equivalent of 2 of those half liters. Stir Add contents of pouch into boiling water and stir. Cover. Turn off the heat and cover. Let stand for 12 to 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. Cool. Uncover and let cool for 2 to 3 minutes before serving. In an emergency situation with no access to a heat source, add 4 cups of water, mix well, and let stand 15 to 20 minutes before serving. You could serve this with just regular water. It would be better hot. This is ReadyWise. This is the ReadyWise company. This was made about a year ago. Cheesy lasagna. A blend of Parmesan and Romano cheeses and a robust Italian sauce, a tomato sauce. Now that's one of the dishes. There are 4 dishes. Or there are 4 different menus. That's one of them. I paid $20 for this. So each dish is $5. And basically what you're dealing with is you've got creamy pasta and vegetables, 4 servings. You've got savory stroganoff, 4 servings. You've got the cheesy lasagna, and you got 4 servings of tomato basil soup with pasta. And obviously I would have crackers with it. I would have saltines with any of these, and that would add to your, help to fill you up. We would have bottled water. If you look at my shorts, I oftentimes, when I'm not having a Diet Coke, old school, I will have a bottle of water, and I usually put a packet of lemonade, or I put a packet of grape Concord, or I'll put a flavor in it. I'll have some Crystal Light, and I'll put a packet of that in a bottle of water, cold water, and it's a meal. It's a meal. Enrique Trevino. Hello, Enrique. Thank you for coming in. KP Heathen coming in. Hello, KP. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. Hello, Enrique. Thank you for like 8. Always, the first thing when you do not forget to leave a like. It will be greatly appreciated. So, my friends, I'm sitting at 1,693. I'm 7 short. How long is that going to take? I do not know. I do not know. It's been 2 months since I did my 1,600. So anytime I'll be hitting the 1,700. When I do, it will trigger a 1,700 subscriber giveaway in order to qualify. And you should have this you should be repeating this in your sleep. And some of you in here probably been one of my winners, or received a box from me. Please leave a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I've released. Now, the last video I released has 57 views. It is a video of, I believe it was, God, don't even remember what it was. Somebody remind me. Somebody check. What was it? Corner Clubhouse Cobalt. Welcome. Oh, your box was the last one? Okay. And I think that was at about 57 views, maybe. My current short, when I started, Hello, Skeen. Welcome. Skeen is not a content creator and has one subscriber. Hope you're doing well this evening. Hello, Little Lone Prepper. Welcome. So, this $20. It's basically 4 meals. Each meal's for 4 people. Honestly, I'd say it's for 2 people, a husband and wife combo, maybe a husband, wife, and a child. I don't know that I would say this is 4 servings. So as I had said previously, I've been ordering foodstuffs and preps. You call it preps. I mean, ReadyWise calls that a prep. You could take an individual packet or two, put it in your backpack, as long as you've got a pot, you can boil some water, pour it in, have a meal. I'd have crackers with it, or bread, something to help with it. Walmart has a 48 food bucket. That's news on me, heathen. That sounds interesting. Sounds interesting. I'll have to look into it. SD the Mountain Man. Hello, Scott. I know Scott's been busy. Welcome, my friend. So, today's topic, which I need to get back to, is a valid ID. Okay. You want to get an ID, you need birth certificate. You need a valid birth certificate. You need an approved birth certificate, an approved passport, in Texas, a driver's license, valid ID. I don't know, some of the states, they will give driver's licenses to non-citizens. Texas doesn't do that. You're not going to get a driver's license in Texas if you're not a citizen. And you need two valid forms of identification. Oftentimes. And those will qualify as means of identification. Now, I used to have to deal with this in school when I was a principal. Um, and I used to also have to deal with this when I was over at Walmart. Somebody would want to get a fishing license, hunting or fishing license, and they'd come in and they were wanting to try to get a license with one of these Mexican consular cards. What they call them, meticular consularies. A consular card, but the consul would issue them an identification card as a Mexican national. And we would not accept that as a means of, at that time, we would not accept that as a means of identification. Um, you need to have a valid, U.S. based identification. Now, you can have an ID from another state, and then they charge you out of state, and it's absolutely outrageous what they charge in Texas for a valid hunting fishing license if you're out of state. I mean, they really gig you, as opposed to if you are a resident of Texas. You know. So, and I guess it's like that all over when it comes to those kind of things. But in order to cyber attack, no on Texas. We're talking about no on Texas. Well, I'm sorry you got towed. Sorry it broke down. I'm looking to see who's saying what. Cyber attack. Well, if I go dark here, it's not my fault. It may be the first shots of World War III. I don't know. ATT is hitting, huh? Michigan has a blackout. Well, Michigan is one of those socialist republics. If you look at Detroit, Detroit looks like one of those burned out war zones. That's what happens when you've had 60 years or 70 years of Democrat control. Yeah. Oh yeah, if they can make money on you, they'll make money on you. No 911 in cyber attack areas. Well, yeah, if the if communication goes down, how do you dial 911? 911 would be pulling out your pump shotgun and your 357 Magnum. That would be 911. You know. And hopefully you've got relations with your neighbors and they would help you out. That's if it's the zombie apocalypse and the zombies show up. Uncle Al wants to use stakes. He says if you can't drive one through the heart, drive one through the private, and hopefully they'll take care of the problem. In all seriousness, go for the 20 gauge pump shotgun with triple up buck. And then Uncle says, and don't you dare show it on a live, or you'll get like one of these massive, strikes where they take you down. I don't show those things. So I might show you some ammunition. I might show you, did I show you this? Whoa! I just got a Ruger 1022 sling for my Ruger 1022. I like it. It says Ruger 1022. for my 22 rimfire semi-automatic. That is the most popular 22 rifle in the United States. The Ruger 1022. Got a nice wooden stock. It looks really nice. And I'm putting a Ruger 1022 sling on it. Also got a Ruger 1022 soft zippered case for it. You know, it's a collectible. You know, that's what I call Yoda. That's what I call Americana. My son's friend from Russia said all he needed for his SC license was a green card, no birth certificate or anything, and he wasn't even a citizen. Yeah, they do. They do. They do. They're getting all sorts of stuff from the government. They're getting all sorts of freebies from the government. A lot of very expensive. They are going in debt. I really ought to compile a list of what all we're giving them and what all it's costing us. The national debt is up to $36 trillion. $1 trillion is 1,000 billion dollars. $1 billion is 1,000 million dollars. $1 million. Used to be, if you could say you were worth $1 million, you were rich. Right now, your average home is upwards of $500,000 for an average, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. Your average home is now upwards of $500,000. That's how devalued everything is. How devalued everything. So many people cannot afford a mortgage these days. And then the interest rates are up over 7%. So it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Not good at all. Eight in the house. Yeah, I hear you. I took out a $50,000 life insurance policy on my daughter who's 26. I was allowed to do it up until age 26. So 26-year-old daughter, I took out a $50,000 life insurance policy for her, and I pay $24.75 a month, and it will never go up. $24.75 a month, it will never go up, and that would pay closing costs if something were to happen to her. It'd pay closing costs, a few bills and such. And if I quit my job, I can take it with me and keep it for that same price. So that's one of those things, like I have it automatically withdrawn. So India. Nowadays, when you call customer service for one of the bigger companies, oftentimes you're getting somebody that was either that's speaking either with an English Indian accent or Philippines. One of the things about folks from the Philippines is that they will say sir. They will call you sir so and so. They also often say the word po, or sir. Those people from the Philippines. And they speak Tagalog and English. Those are the two official languages in the Philippines. They speak Tagalog, which is their native language, and they speak English, which is, well, it's an official language for them, the two official languages. And some of them will speak Spanish, because at one time the Philippines was part of Spain. Whereas with the boil water in New York and Massachusetts, don't drink brown chunky water. No, don't drink anything that's got chunks in it. Don't drink it, and you better filter whatever you do. And I think you're going to be basically tested the quality of your filtration system. It's like, oh, don't go there. You better have plenty of bottled water. You know, you better have plenty of bottled water. You better have a rain catchment system, a good to go rain catchment system. If you don't have a well, you better have plenty of bottled water and a good rain catchment system. And you better be able to filter that stuff too. Not good at all. Mom of 4 boys, good to see you. Haven't seen you lately. Where you been? Where have I been? Well, I haven't been on the last 2 days. I had my own little version of SHTF. I had to take my wife Monday night to the emergency room, and they prescribed a 10-day supply of antibiotics, and you know, that's my daughter tested positive for COVID, so she's, poor thing. The new COVID with the symptoms is, let's see, nausea and pooping, diarrhea, runny nose. Everything's coming out of every orifice. You know, everything's coming out of every orifice. Cyber attack on water and sewer. Well, I tell you, you better have some of these. Here I am showing you some of my secrets. Oh, lordy. Lordy. Couple of green buckets. But first, you put a couple of 13-gallon bags in it, and have plenty of wipies and toilet paper and various things that you need to take that one out. This is old school. Just showing some of the old school. Use these for camping. We use that for camping. Old school, David. Old school. Gotta have plenty of wipes. I went to Sam's. I bought some more. I have lots of this. Canned heat. I have lots of this. Lots of this. Of those. So, I have propane. Lots of propane. I love these. I love them. And I give little starter packs of this stuff out when I get these for $5 a piece. 24. And I give these out, you know, when that's the kind of stuff you put in a backpack. You gotta be prepared. Everybody can't come to my house. I have enough people I'm taking care of already. You know, have to plan for a future son-in-law that's going to be very needy. Oh, please hit the like button. Yeah, power is flickering. Bad storm. Not good. Indianapolis is rough. A bucket is 5 gallons. Yes. If you need 13 gallons to relieve yourself, you should probably eat less fiber. You use 13-gallon trash bags that you hang over the sides, put the lid on it, you do your business, and you close it, and you got a second one, so you use 2 after you do your business, Enrique. Trust me, I know these things. I know these things. I was a scout, and I've used that stuff. You know, we've used that stuff on trips and such, camping and whatnot. It's not like dig a little hole and squat down. This old school. That's ancient old school. And you get a corn cob ready. No, don't want to go there. Don't go there. I'm having a good time. If you can't laugh, I'm having a good time with this. I'm sorry. Well, your birth certificate needs to be certifiable. Are you certifiable? I'm certifiable. I tell you what, my original birth certificate, the baby birth certificate that I had, the old school, old one I have put up in the attic, but I have one that is a official one issued. I contacted the county courthouse where county I was born, and they provided me with a official copy, you know, and they stamp it and do all the voodoo to it and everything. They get a curandero to sprinkle some herbs over it or whatever, you know, so that you got an official one. Well, you know, back in the day, well, my parents, both of my parents were born on ranches. My mother was born in the Odom Ranch in Odom, Texas. My father was born in Bainbridge, Georgia, on the family estate. You know, they were both farmer ranchers. My parents, you know, grandparents, great-grandparents, they were all farmers and ranchers and such back in the day. Well, remember, you know, Barry, he had issues with his. You know, they were saying that they were saying that was an interesting. You know, the one that came out when they officially came out with one, that it had certain features that weren't around when he was born. You know, so whoever did that didn't know what they were doing when they were trying to put one together. They didn't know what they were doing when they were trying to manufacture something other that they could pass off. Really? Does anybody believe it was, other than who believes it was? $175? No, I didn't pay anywhere near that much for a good forgery. That was a good deal, 175. But for a real, I think $25 for a replacement, or for one, you pay $25. I could see probably 35 or 40, maybe 50 at the most. I cannot see the government or the county charging you more than that for a copy of your birth certificate. Because basically, they just basically print one out on archival type stock and use it's almost like a notary. They use an official stamp, of your state, and they basically, and put it in a folded cardboard, envelope type thing, fold over, and that's your birth certificate. You want to go get a social security card. They used to issue plastic ones. You could go and request one, and they'd make it almost look like a little credit card, a little ID card, plastic. They don't accept those anymore. They stopped making them. They don't want you laminated. They want the original. They want it to look, they just want that cardboard one that they give out. That's your social security card. But oftentimes they want two forms of identification. You show them a picture ID, and then you show them your social security card, or you can pull out your birth certificate. A lot of people will get a passport because it's considered valid ID, an approved passport, and it'll have your picture. You go to the post office to get a passport, you fill out the paperwork, and they'll take a picture of you, and then you'll wind up getting it. If you want to travel abroad, you really need to have a passport. Melinda Elliott. Hello, Melinda. Thank you for number 13. 9 in the house. Well, I wouldn't feel sorry for sleeping. I sleep every day. I sleep. When I get off here, I might drink a cup of coffee, or I might go to sleep. And I might drink a cup of coffee and then go to sleep, because coffee's not going to keep me awake. I don't think anything's valid in California, Uncle Al. California is very close to becoming one of those Soviet republics, one of those minor Soviet republics. And the sad thing is that you go just about anywhere rural in California, and it's red. It's the big cities that are blue. Same thing. You go up to the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. That's where all the blue is. The rest of the state is red. You go anywhere out rural, but the bulk of the population is in those blue cities. I mean, if you look at an electoral map, where it shows where the concentrations are, you really do not have many blue concentrations. Well, South Texas, but you really don't have any blue concentrations outside of the big cities. That's where your blue population is. I mean, it would be horrible for it to happen, but if we did ever get into a war with Russia, and they were to say, just to say, take out 8 or 10 of our largest cities, you would, you, the aftermath of that is you would never be able to get a Democrat elected anywhere nationally again if you wiped out 8 or 10 of the big cities, because that's where the blue population is. You know, that's where the blue population is. I have to call him back. Sorry about that. Mike Crusher Reviews. How you doing, Mike? Oh, bloody hell. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm looking at something. I'm going to send a quick text message. I'll call you back in a while. Sorry about that, folks. That was a relative. Good. All right. Yes, Uncle Al lives behind enemy lines. 10 in the house, 14 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. It will be greatly appreciated. Yeah, Austin, Texas. Now that's an SHIT hole. The state government is there, and the governor is constantly threatening to basically take over law enforcement. He's constantly threatening to basically take over law enforcement there because of the city government. And it's Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, you know, the big cities, El Paso. So I keep hearing talk of bad things if there's another questionable election. If the election in November is questionable, I've heard talk of certain things happening. I'm glad it's raining. Yeah, Washington and D.C. They want to make Washington a state. Now, mind you, when Washington was created, they took a 10 mile by 10 mile strip, or what would be considered 100 square miles, and they wound up giving back a chunk of it to Virginia. So you're talking about an area of maybe 50 square miles, and they want to make that into a state. Why? Because the population's 90% blue. And if they made it into a state, they'd have 2 more senators and 1 more person in Congress. And you know that how they'd vote, you know, in perpetuity, you know, in perpetuity, perpetual, forever. I'll have to look at that short, Uncle Al. You live too close to Charlotte for my comfort. Charlotte is the second largest banking center in the U.S., only behind New York. I'm also only about 18 miles from McGuire Nuclear Station. Yeah, yep. The other thing you need to think about is if they did lob something over here, their stuff is not accurate. So they might be targeting one area and it could land 10 miles further in the other direction. So that 18 miles could be 7 or 8 miles, in which case you won't know it. You'll be, on Judgment Day, you'll say, "What happened?" And it'll be like, "Oh, it's the Lord." Okay. Surrounded by a secret Chinese army. Okay, yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. I would anticipate that if we did get into it with them, that they've got some sleeper cells and they got some stuff over here that would cause a lot of grief. I mean, it will take years to build a wall. In the meantime, they're still going to be dealing with people coming in. The thing that they know is that if there was something that happened before the election, there's no way they could get elected, because even the stupid people would vote conservative. As it is now, the stupid people vote blue. Prove your stupidity. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. I was being insensitive. Well, China's in a bad way. They don't have enough young people to take care of the old people. They've got some issues. Russia's in a bad way. Most of their young people are getting killed off in that war. They're losing a lot of young men, a lot of single women over there now. Don't have enough men for the women. They may have to legalize multiple marriages. Yeah, they will try to cheat, but a lot of these places are trying to take care of that. They're trying to plug those holes. They're doing some significant stuff to plug the holes. So, and I don't think what's his face, Meta. I don't think he's going to do what he did the last time and pour the kind of money he did into the election as he did the last time. I don't think that's going to happen. Elon Musk is pouring in a lot of money into a conservative pack. That's happening. Musk is. 13 in the house, 15 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Well, it's their morals, it's their values, it's their culture, the way they are. If you look at some of these places where, you're 15, 16, a woman's 15, 16 years old and she's has her first child. They don't live that long, you know. You start having health issues in your later 30s, and a lot of people are gone when they're in their mid 40s. A lot of people in these less medically enriched areas, you know. You get to a certain age, you start having health issues, and if you don't have the medical tech, it gets you. So they don't live that long. Now, yeah, there are people who live to be over 100 in these places, but the majority of the people die relatively young, at least compared to us, you know. Yes, please do that. Well, that new indictment, that basically what they did is they dropped off some stuff that the Supreme Court had obviously said you can't do. So they dropped that off, and then they wanted to do a re-indictment. But it doesn't matter. Nothing's going to happen before the election, and after the election, it's going to drop. It'll be dropped. They won't be able to get anything through before the election. Now, the questionable thing is, what about that sentencing in September? You got a sentencing coming up. I mean, that Marshawn might decide to, well, we're going to give him jail time. I'm just going to go ahead and hold him and give him jail time. Oh, all hell will break loose if they try to pull that one. I think the Supreme Court would immediately intervene, you know. Hello, Bud Files. Please leave a like to support the channel. Well, yeah, it is all a sham. Well, it was a 5-4 vote? Might have been a 5-4 vote. But, it was a conservative majority. And they said there's some things. Well, there are obviously some things that have been done wrong and that were done wrong, and that they would have to redress. There's stuff in that trial in New York where he was reportedly convicted for nothing, but they convicted him. There was some stuff done wrong in that there was a ruling, and now he's trying to figure out, well, what do we do? He's not going to want to throw it out. It should be thrown out. It should be completely thrown out, because they did have some violations. Even if the charges were valid, they did enough wrong stuff that it should just be thrown out and overturned. Well, they say that our battle is against powers and principalities. It's also said that during the end times, that which is good will be declared bad, and that which is bad will be declared good. That's scriptural. There's a lot of stuff coming out about Kamala Harris, how she worked her way to the top. But she's going to be 60 in a few months. She doesn't have those looks anymore. I mean, Willie Brown helped her out. Montel Williams, she was Montel Williams' side piece or side chick or whatever, as Elon Musk would say, side piece or side chick or whatever. She has a history of, Quite possibly. I could say some crude stuff, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to go there, but I could say some crude stuff. 10 in the house, 15 likes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, they can appear as an angel of light. You know, Satan can appear as an angel of light. I mean, when I get up in the morning, I thank God for the day. I mean, if I don't wake up, I won't know it. You know, the dead sleep. Next thing you know, it's Judgment Day. You're before God, and hopefully you're in the right book. Say the Lord's Prayer. That's the prayer that the Lord gave us to say. Pray. And ask forgiveness for your sins. Try to lead a good life. You know, everybody's sinned. Everybody's sinned and fallen short. You know, there's no perfect people. And try to be worthy. You know, you you weren't worthy in the past. Well, try to be worthy now. Try to make up for it. You know, you've gained more wisdom as you've aged. You know, you can see some of the things that you've done in the past that weren't too bright. Well, learn from it. Set a good example. So it's Wednesday. It's the hump day. 2 more days and then the weekend. When I hit 1,700, and I can verify that I hit 1,700, I will be doing the 1,700 subscriber giveaway. So as I say repeatedly, please leave a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I release if you want your name in the hat. And it'll be a good box. It's been 2 months since I did the 1,600. 2 months. And I'm close. Can hit it any time. And I may drop one more video. I may drop another video. You know, you never know. And if I do, it'll count. Yes, remember Sodom and Gomorrah, the Sodomites. Well, nobody knows when he's going to come. Nobody knows. But I will tell you this. Some of the things in the scriptures, they have to rebuild the temple. The Jews have to build the 3rd temple. They have to rebuild the temple. It has not happened. Because certain things have to happen involving the 3rd temple, and they haven't built it. They're ready to build it, but they haven't built it. So that's part of, if you read Revelations, you know, the Antichrist is going to have to go in and defile the temple. And that has not happened. The Romans defiled the 2nd temple. You know, and they tore it down. You know, they destroyed it. They destroyed Jerusalem. They tore it down. You know, and they have to rebuild it, and they haven't done that yet. So oh, Lord Almighty, I didn't say that. That was a comment worthy of Uncle Al. The knees are worn out. Oh, Lord Almighty. Okay. That's a good one. So, I would about to run a few folks off. I'm 13 in the house. At least I'm short on this one. Nope, down to 7. Whoops. That runs 6 people off. some of my lurkers may be lurking blues. They're blue pilled. Got to get the red pill out. Okay, so 2030. Okay, 2030. Okie doke. Okay. 2030. I'll be moving on towards 70. That, I won't be there yet, but I'll be getting there. Okay. On that note, life is good, but it is what it is. You need to be prepared. And I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll talk some more about preparedness with a Thursday edition of Coffee Talk. Thank you for coming in, and everybody, please have a blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.